Coming up on USF Basketball, Run with the Bulls. Coach Gregory and the men of South Florida exemplify what it means to be a Bull. It takes commitment, determination, and a desire to play as a team. When you play for each other, great things will happen. But you don't have to play on the hardwood to be a Bull. Family, coaches, faculty, staff, alumni, and fans across the globe all come together for the green and gold. This month, however, the unifying color across college basketball is pink, in honor of Hall of Fame coach Kay Yow and all those affected by breast cancer. With Alyssa Rader's return from injury, the women of South Florida regained an important piece of their lineup, and her impact was immediately felt in a nail-biting home matchup against Houston. Get to know the coaches and the players. Next on USF Basketball, Run with the Bulls.
Teams that are going to make more noise in the American than folks might have thought. Year 2 for Brian Gregory. The improvement has been electric.
Bulls on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
USF Basketball Run with the Bulls is brought to you by Wendy's, USF Health, Tampa General Hospital, the Florida Lottery, Florida Blue, Coca-Cola, Yingling, and by Center State Bank. USF Basketball, Run with the Bulls. Coach Yow passed away in 2009, but she did not lose her battle to cancer. Instead, she turned her battle over to all of us in college basketball to continue the fight and do whatever we can, even if that's just wearing pink. The injury bug. It will bite hard and fast. Overcoming its effects takes time, not just for the players recovering and getting healthy, but for the team to learn how to adapt and step up when called upon. The women of South Florida have been adapting all season, battling every day to reach their goals. And with each passing day, they're growing stronger, with youth learning what it takes to play and win in the American Conference.
Once the kids buy in and they're able to trust you, you're going to be able to build a foundation of what we're trying to achieve on the court. So they know that as the process continues on through their first year and then through their 4 years, that we're standing by and we're able to develop them throughout their whole career. Just developing those relationships, seeing a student athlete go from a freshman that has no idea what's about to hit them to a senior graduating is a tremendous experience because you see them just develop year by year. Their bodies change, their mentalities change, and they just grow up into a kid coming in, into a young adult ready to conquer the world.
He just does a wonderful job. You know, he does a wonderful job with them, and they buy in to what he's selling, you know, and that's a lot of credit to him, because the weight room for girls, especially even European girls, you don't lift a lot over there. So coming over here, it's sort of like, ooh, you know, what's this? But once they can see the results, that, you know, they all buy into it. But it takes a special person to get, especially a female athlete, to buy into it. And, you know, he just does a great job with it.
For Coach Jose Fernandez and his associate head coach Michelle Woods-Baxter, it's about instilling a team mentality. It starts with finding the right young women from across the globe, student athletes that are driven to succeed on the court and in the classroom. Highly talented individuals who want to learn and understand what it means to be mentally tough.
It's very important, and Coach does a wonderful job of picking players that he knows that's going to not only fit in our system of basketball, but fit as a player.
There's plenty of great basketball players all over the world. We have an opportunity now where our program's at, that we're able to pick and choose who we bring into our program. A lot of basketball programs around the country don't have that luxury, so we don't have to take a gamble or a risk on someone that doesn't have the right character or is not going to fit into our team culture, or academically they're not going to be successful here.
There could be a great player out there, and if he feels, you know, it could mess up our locker room or it could mess up the chemistry, he won't go after him. We've been spoiled these last few years with all these wonderful players that are on the court, the community, in the classroom. They hold each other to higher standards wherever we're at. That it makes our job so much easier and so fun.
Of course, talent has a lot to do with it, but you win with unbelievable people in that locker room.
Good job, guys. Good lock in.
Bulls on three. 1, 2, 3.
Bulls.
Jose Fernandez in 19 years with USF, 6 NCAA tournaments, including the last 4 years, 8 WNITs, your all-time winningest head coach in Bulls history.
Only a few home games remain. Don't miss out on seeing your Bulls run the court at the Yuengling Center. For more information, visit usfbullstix.com or call 1-800-GO-BULLS. USF Basketball. Run with the Bulls. 3 words are written on the walls of the men's practice gym in the Muma Center: responsible, accountable, dependable. A simple mantra and a foundation for growth, because it's not talent alone that breeds success, but also a mental commitment to grow as a student, an athlete, and a young man. In a matter of 2 years, Brian Gregory and his staff have rekindled the men's basketball program with exceptional young men who have bought into his new culture. And this season, they are red hot. The Bulls struck down Memphis with big performances from sophomores David Collins and Justin Brown, scoring 20 and 19 points respectively. Brown was on fire from behind the arc, nailing 5 3-pointers in a game where the Bulls charged to a 27-1 lead by the time Memphis made their first field goal. A dominating defense has quickly become synonymous with this team's identity, and it shows every time the Bulls take the court.
Collins going the other way for the flush. Tie ball game off a made 3 from TJ Lane.
On a Thursday night in Dallas, Texas, the Bulls found themselves in a thrilling back-and-forth tilt against SMU. USF was without star forward Alexis Yetna, who was day-to-day with a lower body injury. So it was on freshman Michael Durr to step up to the challenge. The game featured 10 lead changes, and LaQuincy Rideau controlled momentum with his offensive playmaking and defensive aptitude.
Knocked it down and won.
Becoming the program's all-time record holder for steals in a season.
Good back and forth action. Answers on both ends of the floor. As Rideau gets it into Durr. He only needed about 1.5 on the shot clock. Top shot for Collins and 1.
But it was the heroic effort of David Collins who tied the game with a three with only a minute 12 seconds remaining.
Good shot fake, good look at a three, and we are tied at 64.
With 6 seconds remaining, Collins stunned SMU yet again, and this time it was game.
Inside 10 seconds, good look. Collins from the corner with a three, and USF is back in front.
With the follow-through by Collins, the Bulls registered their 4th conference win in a row. This is not a team that rests on their laurels. Although the win streak continued, there was room to improve. Consistency at the free throw line and playing at a high level for the full 40 minutes being key focal points, leading into a home matchup against the Pirates of ECU. Still without Alexis Yetna, the Bulls relied on their depth to maintain their success on offense and defense.
Starting 5 for the South Florida Bulls, David Collins leading the way. He can be an X factor for these Bulls as he gets his first points. Justin Brown also playing very well as of late.
But things were not going to plan, and the Bulls were down at halftime.
They were ready to play, super aggressive in terms of attacking the basket. Got us on our heels there in that first half, and we got in some foul trouble as well.
Responsibility, accountability, dependability. This is a team with character, and although they are young, they have learned what it takes to win. Dominating the boards by a margin of 46-22, Brian Gregory's penchant for defense shined as the Bulls began to mount a comeback.
Wasn't pretty, but then you got to give our guys credit. You know, they kind of dug in there in the second half and got just enough stops to put us in some offensive positions where we could score the ball finally and do what we do, which is defend. We held them to 38% in the second half, and then the final piece that we do so well as we get to the free throw line.
And with seconds remaining, it was defense by Brian Kerr that forced overtime.
5 seconds. Williams has it tipped away. Kerr is all over it. Williams runner. Contact again, no foul call, and we're headed to overtime.
I think that's a great no call by the referees. That was spectacular defense by Brian Kerr.
Sticking to their game plan, the Bulls played with grit and physicality, contesting every shot and fighting their way to the charity stripe.
South Florida trying to win their 5th American Conference game in a row. Would be historic.
Focus saw them through.
South Florida, though, can retake the lead with this free throw. The next one could possibly ice the game. ECU knows that. We'll call a timeout. So big one coming up for David Collins. And what a night he has had. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And a big free throw.
And USF secured its first 5-game win streak in league play since the 1991-92 season.
72-68, South Florida. A bumpy ride on a Sunday night in Tampa. They find a way to pull out a win.
The Bulls are 13-2 at the Yuengling Center so far this season.
There's always steps in the progression of what we're trying to get done, all right? We're a pretty good team. When we play really hard and we compete and we're there for each other, we're pretty good. I think we've proven that so far. One of the steps is, if you don't have things going, can you dig down a little deeper and figure it out? And that's what we did today. That's what we did today. I don't like it, because I want more for you.
Hey, great win. Good job, boys. Good job. Get to breakfast, get to your academics.
All in on 3, all out on 6. 1, 2, 3. All in. 4, 5, 6. All out.
USF Basketball Run with the Bulls is brought to you by Wendy's, USF Health, Tampa General Hospital, the Florida Lottery, Florida Blue, Coca-Cola, Yingling, and by Center State Bank. USF Basketball, run with the Bulls.
Bulls Nation, you gonna want to see this?
Don't miss out on the chance to see your Bulls in conference play. For more information, visit usfbullstix.com or call 1-800-GO-BULLS. USF Basketball, run with the Bulls.
This will be our 6th year for our event, Coaches Powering Forward for Autism. It was a collaboration with my good friend and former assistant coach, Pat Scarry, who is currently the head coach at Towson University. We both have a child who is on the autism spectrum. My son Robert, his son Owen. It started at a grassroots level in terms of figuring out a way to use our platform as coaches to help gain awareness, and obviously it's taken off. Unbelievable momentum and great support in the coaching fraternity and across the country.
First got involved with the team back when Brandon was in 9th grade, when Coach Antigua received the opportunity to be the head coach at USF. He immediately called my wife and I and told us to look at the programs that USF has on campus. Orlando Antigua, the former head coach here, reached out to me because he had played with Brandon's dad, Jason Matthews, at University of Pittsburgh. They were teammates. He connected Jason and I, and then he's at almost every day of practice. He's there and helping us in a lot of different ways. He's a guy that brings unbelievable spirit to our program. Our players and our staff have embraced him and his challenges.
Well, Robert was diagnosed when he was 2 years old, and at that time, autism was affecting 1 in 86 individuals. And now here we are with Robert just turning to 13, and it's now 1 in 59 individuals that are affected.
He's so full of energy. He lives and dies with every dribble and every shot that our players take and make, and wins and losses. He understands that because he's gotten really close to our staff and our players, and it's great. You know, I'm so thrilled that he's able to touch our guys and be around our guys as role models for him, and he's so proud of them, and his enthusiasm for our program, for our players, I think it speaks for itself.
As a parent, you just want your child to be included and for their gifts to be recognized. Coach Herring understands the wonderful gifts that these kids and adults that are touched by autism actually have. So for that, you know, we're all thankful that Coach Herring is really taking the lead.
The number one thing for someone thinking maybe their child, something is different or unique, is early intervention. I know when Robert was first diagnosed, initially, it was very disconcerting and, you know, not something you really wanted to hear, to be honest. But then once you know what that diagnosis is, there's just so much more information and resources and help out there.
We were very fortunate to have one of the best autism doctors in the world, Dr. Scott Faber. The very first appointment with Brandon, he told us to calm down, that Brandon would be fine. He said, Brandon's gonna play sports, Brandon's gonna go to school, Brandon's gonna have friends, Brandon's gonna go to the prom. He's like, just relax and remember that they're kids that grow up one day.
One of the best things about having both those young men part of our program is just a daily awareness. And at the same time, our guys also understand how fortunate they are. And it's tough to have a bad day from our perspective when they never have a bad day.
You know, the guys are like bigger brothers to him, a group of big brothers. They're really a great group of guys. I know he really enjoys being around them, and I think they enjoy being around Robert as well.
Pat and I started this, and it was really a two-man show, and now we've gained support from some different organizations. Autism Speaks has been a key component in helping us develop and grow our brand. And can't thank the coaches of all levels, high school, college, junior college, men, women, who have gotten on board in terms of supporting this.
400 head coaches this year wearing the pins. You'll also see it on some broadcasters. You'll see it maybe on officials all across the country. It's grown tremendously, and again, for us, it started because of Robert and Owen, but it's really about the whole autism community.
This cause and autism awareness hits home. Our secretary, Barbara Reif, her grandkids have autism. I'm glad that we were able to, both basketball programs unite to support autism awareness.
To know that Brandon has a coach that completely understands what autism is all about and the tremendous capabilities that individuals that have been touched by autism have. It's very comforting.
Our guys and our staff rally around this effort. Unbelievable testament to the type of kids that we have in the program and other people working around it. You know, I mean, we spend so much time as coaches with other people's children, and then when you have your own child, it's rewarding to know how much people really care about Robert, and in particular, how it impacts autism impacts us directly.
I just want to say that I like the basketball team a lot, and that I love my mom and daddy.
I'm glad I'm in that list.